let me audit your last 24 hours. You probably sat down at your desk around 8 a.m. with the intention of doing deep work. Maybe writing that strategic plan for 2026 or reviewing the new product roadmap. But before you even open the document, you started checking messages. Then you checked your email. Then you looked at the revenue dashboard. Then maybe even LinkedIn. And by 9 a.m., you felt like you were working. You felt responsive. You felt busy. But by 4 p.m., you looked at your to-do list and realized the one thing that actually moves the needle for your company hasn't been touched. You feel exhausted. Your brain feels like it has 1,000 tabs open and none of them are loading. And you carry that anxiety home to your family. You tell yourself you just need better time management. You download a new to-do list app. You try the Pomodoro technique, but none of it works for long. And I am here to tell you that this is not a character flaw. It's not a lack of discipline. And contrary to what you might think, it's not even burnout. You are suffering from a dysregulated dopaminergic system. You have psychologically trained your brain to crave cheap, low-effort inputs over high-effort, high-reward outputs. And in this video today, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to break down the neuroscience of why you can't focus, and then I'm going to give you the protocol to fix it. To understand why a high-performing executive can't sit still for 20 minutes, we have to look at the biology of motivation. There is a famous study in neuroscience, often cited but rarely understood, involving rats. And researchers depleted dopamine in a group of rats and placed food just a few inches away from them. And here is the critical part. If the researchers put the food directly in the rat's mouth, the rats ate it and they enjoyed it. Their pleasure system was intact. But the rats wouldn't move those few inches to get the food themselves. They would literally starve to death with food right in front of them. Why? Because dopamine is not the molecule of pressure. It's the molecule of motivation. It is the currency of effort. It is the chemical that bridges the gap between I should do this and I am doing this. And this is the modern founder. The food is your business growth, your fitness goals, your exit strategy. You want those things, but your dopamine baseline is so trashed by cheap digital stimulation from notifications, likes, that you, just like the rat, cannot summon the neurochemical drive to bridge the gap. As Westbrook and Braver noted in the journal Neuron, dopamine does double duty. It motivates cognitive effort when your baseline is low because you burn it all on Instagram in the morning. You physically lack the fuel for cognitive effort. And the problem is that the modern business environment is engineered to keep you in this depleted state. We often blame ourselves, but we forget we are fighting against supercomputers. Every app on your phone, including work tools like Slack, is designed using variable reward schedules. And this is the same psychology used in slot machines. You pull the lever, check your inbox. Sometimes you get a reward, a good client email, and sometimes you get a punishment, a crisis. And sometimes you get nothing. And that uncertainty spikes dopamine higher than a guaranteed reward ever could. This creates what I call the urgency illusion. You feel compelled to check because your brain is haunting for that spike. And a study by Leroy showed that when you switch context, like glancing at a notification, you create attention residue. And it takes roughly 23 minutes to get your full focus back. And imagine if you check your phone every 15 minutes, you are mathematically incapable of deep work. You are operating with a cognitive deficit all day long. And here's the mechanism you need to visualize. When you shake your phone and get that hit, your dopamine spikes above baseline. But your biology seeks homeostasis. And what goes up must come down. Your levels don't just return to normal. They crash below your baseline. And this is the calm down. And in this state, you feel anxious, bored, restless. And this is where those thoughts kick in. This is the rationalization your brain invents to get you to use it again. And for a founder, that thought sounds very responsible. It sounds just like, I need to check if the team replied. I should just clear my inbox so I can focus better, or I just checked at LinkedIn for 5 minutes to see what my competitors are doing. And it's all a lie. It's your brain screaming for a dopamine pacifier because it cannot handle the boredom. So, how do we reset? We don't use willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. We use system architecture. You need to resensitize your receptors. And here are 2 immediate changes you can make today. The first one is the physical firewall. The mere presence of a smartphone reduces cognitive capacity, even if it's off. Make sure you put it in another room. And if you're doing deep work, your phone should be physically inaccessible. Second, the boredom gap. When you are waiting for coffee, the elevator, do nothing. Don't check emails, don't listen to a podcast, just stare at the wall. You need to teach your brain that boredom is not a crisis. Boredom is the signal that your dopamine receptors are upregulating. It's the feeling of healing. Now, those 2 tips are just the basic. If you have been operating in a high noise, high stress environment for years, a simple phone ban usually isn't enough. The withdrawal is gonna start kicking in, and those thoughts are gonna win. And you relapse within 48 hours. You need a full physiological reset. And that's why I have built a specific science-backed protocol for this called the dopamine reset. It's a 14-day step-by-step playbook designed specifically for founders and executives. It's not just about putting the phone away. It installs the morning focus stacks, the deep work operating system, and the recovery protocols you need to rebuild your attention span from the ground all the way up. It includes the tools to fix your sleep, your team communication norms, and your decision fatigue. And if you're tired of working 12 hours to produce 2 hours of value, go to the link in the description. It's a 14-day investment to buy back the next minimum 10 years of your career. In an economy that profits from your distraction, your focus is your only competitive advantage. If you can control your attention, you own your market. And if you can't, the algorithm owns you. Reset your brain, take back control. Keep growing, stay sharp. It's Lunden, signing out.